My name is Rhapsody, welcome back to Hearthstone. We're going to be playing the solo adventures Dalaran Heist in Heroic, naturally. Alright, so I've got to figure out what is the goal here, right? Because the next chapter is not yet unlocked. So do I want to just have each of the characters beat each wing? So 5 wings, 9 characters, 30, 45. I didn't miscalculate that. You miscalculated. I didn't even finish it. Frankly, I didn't commit that answer. 45. All right. Yeah, that's doable. I don't know how many of them I'm going to want to do with the anomaly mode on, because the anomaly is real. It's real impactful. After a player casts 3 spells in a turn, that player summons a 5/5 dragon. Like, for instance, if our second boss is Akazamzarak, we lose. Just because of this anomaly, right? But also, it does mean that there's a lot more replayability. And things can become a lot more swingy. So you either lose pretty quickly or you crush. It gives you another thing to play around. I think most of my runs I'm going to want to leave the anomaly mode on. I don't think all of them though, but in this one in particular, let's... You know what? Actually, how about around the anomaly, because the anomaly is the same for no matter what of the... which of the wings I take here, right? So we choose a wing based on the anomaly, so that we can get the twist that is compatible with the anomaly. For instance here, coin-filled coffers gives us 2 coins. We play out those 2 coins. That's real close to getting us a dragon at that point. I think this is a pretty good idea. Okay. It's probably not Shaman. Is Shaman really a spell class now? I suspect not. We've already done Priest in this wing, otherwise Priest would be an obvious pick. I mean, we can take Rogue. Rogue has access to Prep. Prep is pretty big. In a sec while I just push that along there. There we go, beautiful. Yeah, let's go for that. So I have to summon pirates and draw cards. Neat. So that'll just be completed over the course of this regardless. Summoning pirates, I mean, I do want to get the hero power yoink so that I can play a different style of Rogue. Dead Man's Tale. So this is a Death Rattle deck, clearly. Discover a spell from another class. All right, so let's count how many spells there are, right? 2 from the coffers. 3, 4, 5, 6, because the Hench Clan Burglar gives you 1, so 6 total. Skulker has access to 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 2 from coffers. I guess we'll just play Dead Man's Tale because we haven't played it before. I suspect this is actually a little bit weaker than the other one, though. If I had the other hero power, then this would be stronger, but I don't. Alright, Alchemist Wendy is the one that's going to swap cards between us, rather than swap cards back into the deck. So this is where I am going to want to just mill out spells if I get them. As soon as I get those coins, they're just going to be played out real quick. So, spells cost 1 less. Is that a thing? Is that a thing that I can get as a treasure? I don't think it is. Used to be called Khadgar's Scrying Orb, but I haven't seen it in this expansion yet, so I suspect it doesn't exist. I don't want a hero power on turn 1 and then Goblin Barber on turn 2. Just because it's really unreliable. There's not that many 1-drops in this deck, if I recall correctly, so I'll just take Journey Below and then fish for something. Alright. Hopefully I can fish a Death Roll card from a different class, but since it doesn't specify a different class, that means it won't give me one from a different class. I knew that. I don't know why I posited otherwise. We'll take the Mech Yeti, literally just have a tanky minion. So it's a random card in each player's hand, so I can't really play around that in a significant fashion. Unfortunately, the enemy just gave us the ability to activate the... Oh god, what's its name? Oh, you're not going to even show me what you swapped? The 2/3 that gains +1/+1 and rush, if you have a different class's card in your hand. Unfortunately, we can activate that now, but the enemy has our card. Underbelly Fence, I think it's called.
Most of the time. How much is this worth to you?
Oh, it is. And of course, you're holding a card from another class. Wow. We're actually getting beaten up. Oh! I thought Serrated Tooth was just your minions have rush. Although that would have made it OP, right? We could end up losing this first one.
Do. On second thought, let's swap back.
Okay. I could try and cast 3 spells this turn. Alchemist, what's that secret?
What do I do here?
Eventually, I'll just have all of the decks for, especially the start characters, memorized, but I don't have them yet. What is that secret? Shouldn't be splitting image. Duplicate makes sense. Duplicate makes a lot of sense. It's not duplicate. Mirror image makes a little bit of sense there as well. Just gonna play a big minion. The problem with not playing enough spells this turn... Oh, of course it's Potion of Polymorph. It's an alchemist, Brian. That's really bad on my part. The problem with not playing enough spells here is that now I'm in a position where my enemy is probably going to get the first 5/5 dragon out on the board. At least I've got the Greater Healing Potion. Okay. So you trade across. This becomes 3 mana. I have access to 7 this turn, so it's coin, coin... Dragon's Breath you, and then Greater Healing Potion myself, giving myself a 5/5 on the board. Your turn. That's exactly the kind of thing that I'm looking for, right? That giant swing.
The old's running low.
I'll attack twice with that. Even get the squid face out there, trade across. Goblin Auto Barber had rush, not charge, so I couldn't have attacked face.
One for you.
I can just wait until next turn. Yeah, enemy's gonna get a dragon here. I wonder how well the enemies are gonna play around the knowledge that, oh, if I play 3 spells, I can get a dragon out of the field.
Better get pillaging.
Alright. 2 random minions? Pirates? Damn. All I care about there is if I get pirates. At the very least, we do have our pirate in the deck now. I may want to consider drafting a pirate. I'm not going to draft just for pirates, but if there's nothing that I'm super interested in, I might want to consider a pirate. Your death rattles trigger twice in a deck that already has a couple of death rattles, as well as the ability to generate death rattles. Seems right. Serrated Tooth is unaffected by that, but Journey Below is a death rattle, Violet Haze is 2 death rattles, and Violet Haze is getting upgraded as well. Again, this is a situation where I really wish I was waiting until the buffs went through. What is it, 3 days now until they go through? Yeah, 3 days by my clock. This will be 2 mana, but that's 2 more death rattle minions, and then I've obviously got my own 2 at the very end there as well. Minions having rush is actually really powerful. It's also really powerful with death rattle minions because you get to activate your own death rattles on your own terms, right? So death rattle, especially if your opponent has like or rather only if your opponent has a developed board state, death rattle goes from being a slow effect to a quick effect. So you can consider the difference between like sorcery spells and instant spells in Magic the Gathering. A lot of people, especially when they were talking about the impact of N'Zoth, were talking about, okay, this is a quick impact because it summons all of those death rattle minions, but there was another card that had to die to summon your death rattle minions, and that was way too slow. because it had it at death rattle speed rather than at battle cry speed. It's just gonna be Totem the Dead though. Try and lean into the death rattle. Oh, great, battle cry. This actually does have Zarl, and Zarl does have a death rattle. Daring Escape. Return all friendly minions to your hand. Well, we don't do that. Ever. Is that true? Yeah, we don't do that ever. Toggle's Scheme. One of the things about Toggle's Scheme here is that just a single copy of it in the deck, as long as I draw it, you know, before my final card, means that fatigue is much less of a concern for us. It's just I wouldn't know what minion to hit it on. Zarl is a source of 3 spells by itself. Each of those spells are only 1 cost. The toxins are 1 cost spells. Prep Fan of Knives is an obvious thing. Oh, actually, Prep Fan of Knives and Violet Teacher is completely fine, right? Prep Nerf hasn't gone through? No, Prep Nerf has gone through. All right. Oh, gosh. I'm actually leaning towards just getting Zarl. I was initially against the idea of taking the... Let me just throw this off to the side so I don't look at it. I was initially against the idea of taking the Violet Apprentice. Violet Apprentice? Violet Teacher. Just due to the fact that if I had the Violet Teacher...
You could use a little off the top, couldn't ya?
I would have overfilled the board back when I was playing in the 3rd wing. Because of the carts, right? There's 4 carts taking up spaces, or 3 carts taking up spaces on your board, so you can only have 4 minions out at the same time. But obviously I should be assessing it individually rather than
Going purple. It suits you.
with respect to my memory of how bad it would have been in a different circumstance. Tomb Pillager is also incredible. Tomb Pillager might be one of the best cards that we can even draft. Just due to the fact that a 5/4 for 4 Death Rattle a coin to your hand is really good. Tomb Pillager was run really, really commonly back when it was in Standard. That's not the reason I'm interested, though. I'll just summon the Barber to try and help me deal with this. That's not the reason I'm interested, though. The reason I'm interested is its Death Rattle is give me 2 coins now. Can you not just buff that minion ridiculously? It's supposed to be a random haircut rather than you gave it damage on the first turn and then health on the second turn like it definitely needed. But getting those 2 coins is great, obviously, for milling out the dragons. Stop! Stop! Every buff that has landed on that Cache of Cash has been incredible. We're almost dead. Stop it right now.
Thank you.
I think, in fact, we just lose here. Yep, in fact, we are immediately dead. That is insane. Every single haircut from Makeover was absolutely perfect for my enemy. The only way that I could have played differently there is if I thought I might have drawn another high-cost card, which I suspected I didn't, right? I had most of my 4-cost cards in hand, which is why I played the Goblin Auto Barber on curve, rather than hero powering, attacking, then playing the Goblin Auto Barber the turn after. I felt like I was probably just going to want to develop whatever cards that I managed to draw that turn, and that I was most likely to end up drawing a playable card. Unfortunately, we got Violet Haze rather than something like Blink Fox, or, well, we did end up with Underbelly Fence. The deck didn't actually have that much defense against that kind of a thing. Although, as it turns out, it wouldn't have even changed anything, because hero power, attack, it goes down to 2/2, that's the Cache of Cash. I play the Goblin Auto Barber, then the enemies is already a 2/4 because they got the HP buff again. That's just awful, awful RNG. All battle cries trigger twice. All of them. So, a lot of the rogue cards that have battle cry effects actually have combo effects, which is a reason that I don't necessarily think I want the battle cries effect for that. What's the class with the best battle cry? Shaman has really good battle cries in the Jade deck, but I don't think Shaman has a Jade archetype here. As well as in Jade? As well as in Elemental?
You want to dance?
Okay. As well as in Evolution. Summon totems, 15 more, and overload mana. What would this have been? Damn, wouldn't have cared about that. Don't really care about that. Nor this. That's not... None of those are particularly good starting decks for this anomaly. Let's have a look at our other options. Tech and Death. Death Rattle, Death Rattle, Death Rattle. There's a couple battle cries in here. Effective battle cries nonetheless. Locked and Loaded has a couple battle cries, or rather one battle cry. Again, not particularly great. This is kind of research for future wings, right? It's really important that I know if I'm going for battle cries, what character am I looking to play? Bad battle cries in that deck. Not great ones there either. Oh, damn it. It's all pretty poor so far. And I definitely don't want to do Priest. Is that the case? Rogue doesn't have another deck that I have unlocked at this point in time. Are the Rogue's battle cries incredible? Maybe. Maybe I'm just not remembering them correctly. There's a lot of battle cries in here. There were 4 at my last count. Seriously, right? Henchclan Burglar gets its 2 cards. Blink Fox gets its 2 cards. Underbelly Fence can become a 4/5 with Rush. Goblin Auto Barber can buff our card twice. Yeah, I'm going to take Dead Man's Tale. I'm going to try and commit. Commit to the bit. But yeah, Keezy just instantly killing us is awful. Awfully sad. We wouldn't have changed the outcome there had we taken the other pack, the Prep Fan Violet Apprentice. That would have had no impact because we died on turn 4.
Things are about to get messy.
Interested in trying something new?
Can't remember what the final pack... Oh, the final pack did have an Abyss. The combo pack had an Abyss. That would have actually helped. Hey, look at that curve. Okay. So what? My enemy gets a 5/5, I get 2. Okay. I probably just developed to the board at this point then, right?
How much is this worth to you?
I don't want to give them the Underbelly Fence. It happened before and it almost lost us the fight. Damn it. Stop taking my best cards, please, because that Blink Fox is really important.
Side effects?
I'll take that.
It's not all about potions. Balms, ointments, they're all useful.
It's pretty bad. At least I get to that board state. I can barely remember what the enemy is taking. Oh, actually, never mind. It is showing me. Tomb Pillager. Got it. Gotta remember to play the pirate. It's interesting to note that despite the thing that I was talking about earlier with respect to the anomaly, it actually wasn't what caused me to lose the previous one. Your minions cost 1 less. You draw an additional 2 cards each turn. You're immune to fatigue. Well, drawing an additional 2 cards each turn is not something we're going to want to do. A lot of our battle cries generate cards to our hand, so we'll oftentimes end up with overfilling our hand. Overfilling our hand isn't necessarily awful, but it does mean we don't necessarily need the draw power that is provided by the Elixir of Vim. Expedite does allow us to get battle cries, and we are going to want to focus on battle cries, right? And most battle cries are from minions. They're either minions or weapons. So Expedite is a way to get that. Yeah, it's Expedite. It's Expedite. It's really easy. Huh. Well, Face Collector is obviously a great way to fill my entire hand with random legendary minions. It's quite slow, but the minions cost 1 less. So I can Face Collector 5 turns in a row. And it only gives me minions, right? Lortheb cuts out my enemy from playing spells the next turn. 10 more on the cost for them. That's really good. Swashbuckler gives me 2 cards, and there's a South Sea Captain here. If the Underbelly Fence was a pirate, I suspect I might actually go for this package. But the fact that it's not got a 3rd pirate, instead having Cannon Barrage, Barrage, which only really benefits from having many pirates, means that it's not a really good option for us. Razor Petal Lasher is a great way to get 2 Razor Petals. Like, this is intriguing, certainly, but it would take a very long time before it would be actually goods. Legends there. Carousel Griffin. That's terrifying. I honestly don't entirely understand how this this minion works, so.
Eudora versus a carousel.
I love how that's said as well. A carousel? I'm not gonna mull any of that. That's a 1 and a 2, right? Unfortunately, the mana reduction only counts after the start of the game. So I do have to keep in mind, oh, that's a 1 and a 2. That's a 1 and a 2. That's a 1 and a 2. On curve, Growl is great here, right? Eat a minion in your deck and gain its stats. Do that twice. Death Rattle, add it to your hand. I suspect that will still add both of them. Although I'm not entirely certain. So if I put my Blink Fox here, my enemy should get the 1/1. I should keep my Blink Fox. Right? Thematically, what would this be? It's a carousel. Would it be Cat Trick? No. Would it be Snake Trap? No. Would it be Freezing Trap? No. Explosive Trap? No. Misdirection seems quite likely, considering kind of like the randomization of units on the board. Alright. Bear Trap seems unlikely as well. I wish I could summon a bad minion, right? Ooh, actually I can. Sure.
How much is this worth to you?
I'm really going in on the fact this is not an explosive. It is. Okay. Good work, me.
I'll take that.
It's okay. If it rotates at the moment, I get that 1/1 and you get the 3/1, right?
I'll show them.
Oh, but I suspect you'll probably just kill the 3/1. Oh god, then you get my 4/3. I hate this combat so much. It's confusing and I don't like it at all. If you have a beast, transform this minion into a 7/7. Great. It's too easy for my enemy to take that 7/7 from me. Like, I don't know if I'm basically allowed at any point here to develop big minions.
You've got to think, Eudora.
I'm trying. I need minions out on the border. I'm never going to win. Because the swap happens at the end of their turn, they have way better of a ability to... Oh! That's fine. That's fine, I guess. Do I want to develop Toshli? Maybe I just hero power Goblin Auto Barber go face. Start pushing in damage.
Hey, the right shot, mongrel.
Ow. Unfortunately, my enemy gets a coin. Summon a minion, I dare you.
Float like a butterfly.
That's, yeah, that's fine. Oh no. I kill this turn or I'm dead, right? Toshli can only give me a spare part that gives me 1 extra damage, and we're 2 from lethal, so I think I have to pilfer. This carousel is terrifying.
What do I do here?
We lose. Right? Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing we can do at this point. Let's fish for some random effect that might help. Not gonna do it. Yeah, the fact that it swaps at the end of the enemy's turn just means they have complete control over what minions they get and what minions they don't get. This is heroic. Alright, let's go for a 3rd loss in a row. Whoa, at least we've unlocked another type of deck. And we're gradually playing more things, I guess. Murlocs occasionally join the battle. The problem is, I think if I turn anomaly mode off for a run, don't I just not get anomaly back? Right? Don't I not refresh the anomaly? Because I don't really want to play anomaly Fishy, but...
You want to dance?
I guess Shaman's probably the only one that's likely to get Murloc. Alright. And again, unfortunately, Murlocs occasionally join the battle. Great. My enemy can get a 4/4 Scargill, and I can get a 1/1 Tiny Fin.
Vecina versus Kizzy.
This one's more random, and there's a lot less of an ability to capitalize on it, which is why I would have turned it off if
Look what the cat
I thought I
dragged
could.
in. Here for a cut.
I'm keeping the Rockbiter so that I can kill the Cache of Cash just in case it gets buffed. I'm terrified of it, frankly. It happened to me before. I'm not... won't get punked again.
Snip, snip, snip.
Screw
snip.
you. Double. That's awful. Again. No minion to buff now. Can't kill that with the Stormforge, so that's a Feral Spirit turn. Yeah, that's on autocast. You do have to cast it every single turn. It did look like you were going to avoid doing that there somehow. Back when this was 2 mana, I would have just double coined, put out the Flame Tongue. What the hell is this? This is my first match. You're not allowed to win that one. My gosh. Uh-huh. The haircut itself can kill me at this point. Fine. I hate that I just did that. Sets me up for lethal next turn, though. Wind speaker, double hit face, attack face. Great. I actually get to win. Woo! My gosh. Rogue mode is hard, y'all. And sometimes outright unfair, but also hard. Totem of the Dead. Death Rattle in Shame? Your minions have rush means that always my Molochs will be rushing out on the field. That's pretty good. Well, I mean, look. It's the Murloc build, right? Summon 10 Murlocs, so we can benefit from that. Calling the Finishers is a great companion piece to unite the Murlocs, so is Neptulon. Yeah, we'll take Fishy. Let's try and do the Murloc build. Murlocs with Rush. Well, Murlocs are usually a face deck, but I guess you do use them for board control at this point. So we'd be playing it kind of like a Murloc Zoo. Could be good. Who does she remind me of? Every single time I see the portrait for Soothsayer Zoe there.
You've interrupted my healing.
We don't need Unite the Murlocs, right? We're not going to be playing 10 Murlocs in this match. If the match goes long enough to play 10 Murlocs, something awful has already happened. Every single time I see the portrait for Soothsayer Zoe, I'm like, I know that face from somewhere. Not sure where though. Start of your turn, restore all friendly minions to full health. So there's no reason to play the Stormforge and attack yet.
Put this apple on your head.
I can attack there, sure. We heal back up.
I'm watching out for you.
Get dunked on! I'm actually gonna want to generate the totem here. That was the wrong order, obviously. I wanted to generate the totem so that I can make my progress towards getting the next hero power. It's fine. It's also fine. Wind Speaker is lethal. Oh, good. So the Murloc Tide Hunter did count. I was worried there for a second it wouldn't. That'll do. Alright. Neptulon itself is an elemental rather than the Murloc, so it can't get summoned by the Fishy anomaly. Okay. Let's go all in on the Murlocs, I guess. Aolo. Aolo has 2 copies of Warpath. 1 copy of Cleave.
Vecina versus a willow.
I think those are the most important things for me to focus on.
Let us resolve this quickly.
I suspect it's quite likely I can actually complete Unite the Murloc in this fight. I think it's actually really likely. Especially with the amount of calling the finishes that we have in this deck. Unfortunately, my enemy will occasionally get Murlocs as well. Ooh, but we got Siltfin. Whenever another friendly Murloc dies, draw a card. If I play Stormforge Axe, I lock myself out of a 3-drop next turn, and I don't have a 2-drop in hand, so... Or I can kill here. The earlier I give my enemy the coins, the less they have to do with them. That's good. My enemies doesn't have rush. There's the cleave.
Oh man, I'm stuffed.
Yeah.
The dangers of being a good cook.
Uh-huh.
I can't help myself. Oh, I couldn't eat another bite.
Alright, well, I'm not going for Primal Fin anymore. So it's Stormforge, Earthen Ring. Stormforge, attack the enemy, Earthen Ring. Or coin, Earthen Ring.
That's a nice cleaver. Bit big for chopping meats.
That's right, it's not for me. It's for minions.
My blade be thirsty.
Thank you, Primal Fin. So now I can play my other one. Well, Murloc Tidecaller into calling the finishes next turn is... It's a curve and a half right there. We're gonna curve all our enemies. Alright. I do this intentionally to try and bait my opponent to use double Warpath this turn. There we go. Because I don't want them to have that after Murloc and calling the finishes. And I know that with the board state, with a 3-1 and a 3-2 and a 3-2, the enemy's going to do it 100% of the time. So I just hope their next Warpath isn't currently in hand. But as I said, like, we are very close to completing the Murloc quest. I suspected that this was likely. Uh-huh. What are you drawing? 7 cards? Well, at least they're not healing off of it. Thanks, bud. Murloc? Drawing a Murloc there would have been obviously absolutely incredible. Enemy gets Scargle. I guess you couldn't have targeted the other one. Good positioning on my part. Accidentally, I assure you. I would have attacked the, the totem first, but that's just me. I'm weird like that. I don't like to take all of the damage in the known universe. I know, it's quirky. I'm not like the other gamers. Let's go Hero Power. It's good. Megafin drops down next turn. Fills my hand with random Murlocs, and then I just play them all. Also, it's worth noting that a 5 mana 8/8 with Rush is great for board control. Thankfully, the enemy doesn't have the other Whirlwinds in the deck, because that's a great way for them to heal back up.
Mind if I roll me?
I'm gonna get that out. Just wanted more Murlocs, effectively. Eh. Gonna go for the lackey? Nope. Goes for the clear. Burns my old Murkai, of course. Mm-hmm. Okay. Which do I generate first? Give a random Murloc in your hand +1/+1. Ooh, Finley Murgleton gets that hit. Nice. Play Grimscare. Oh, obviously it should have been Tide Caller first. That's entirely my bad. Let's get a different hero power now. Take Shapeshift. Your turn. If the enemy had any minions on board, I would have been constantly able to just trade off against the right one. It would have been great.
Well done.
Oh!
You want to cook? Open your own shop.
That reminds me. I should actually overload as well, if I can. That overload twice. Neat. That reminds me, I should be emoting at these bosses from one Ryan to another. Just to check out their responses.
His best blood, always useful, every time.
Strictly false. Replace all other... No. Well, all other cards with random legendary minions is actually pretty good for us, right? Because we can just call in the finishes, have a ridiculously large board, and then as soon as we feel threatened, pop down the golden candle and then just run at the opponent. The problem is it does make everything so random that the enemy can just, like, drop Deathwing. And then the game's over for me. Or I get garbage minions the entire time and game's over for me. Gnomish Army Knife is a little expensive. It would help us push for lethal and stuff like that. But God, it's expensive. It's like a 9 mana combo if I want to drop that on old Murkai. 10 mana combo if I want to drop that on the Megafin. Each turn this is in your hand, transform it into a random treasure. It's a lot of garbage treasures. I'm gonna take the golden candle, try and flood, and then play it. Yes. Scargle is obviously perfect. Scargle, just in case you're unfamiliar, your Murlocs cost 1.
Watch your candles.
I'll take every copy of it that I'm given. Alright. You can stop telling me that. I've done this one before. It's not my first rodeo.
All are welcome. Just
Scargill?
don't cause any trouble.
If it wasn't for Scargill being here, I'd remove all minions from my deck perfectly. Round of Drinks is garbage here. If I was doing a totem build, maybe, but no, it's garbage. Look at 4 spells in your deck, reduce the cost of 1 by 3 for this run. What's the highest cost spell we have in the deck? Because I suspect at the moment it's actually, not Stormforge Axe, Rockbiter Weapon. Which used to be 1 mana as well.
Enjoy the atmosphere.
What is my largest spell in... Oh, it's Feral Spirits. No, it's Call in the Finishers. Of course, Call in the Finishers is incredible to play it. Ryan. Guess we're playing Feral Spirit instead. I have 2 Call in the Finishers, and neither of them showed up. I'm not saying it's rigged, I'm just saying it's definitely rigged. I should have kindled first. Definitely should have kindled first. Because then I could have just removed a card that I didn't want.
Is something burning in here?
Rockbiter is a little expensive for as little as it does. Let's get that out of here. I also kind of want to give the buff to Scargill, literally just so that Scargill is...
I've heard this story before.
is a little tougher, stays on the field for a little bit longer.
Safe travels.
So that I can just mill out every Murloc ever. One reason I am glad that the buffs haven't gone through yet, that is to say the buffs that are happening in 3 days, is because then this would be a more terrifying boss with the pogos being 1 mana. Almost all of the like top tier people who rate cards think that the pogo buff is not going to be enough to make Pogo Rogue a thing. I suspect that's wrong. I think that everyone's going to be eating their words on that one. It could be me going to be eating my words, and let's be real, these people are far more experienced than I am. Live, breathe, and kind of like drown Hearthstone. Kill. But I still think the Pogo Rogue, like what? It's a 33% win rate at this point in time. I think with the meta shifts as a result of preparations nerf and the other things that are going to make the more aggressive styles of Rogue less powerful, moving that out of the meta and making the game a little bit more slow, as well as the buff to Pogo Rogue, and the fact that Togwoggle's scheme is perfect for a Pogo Rogue, and Tark is perfect for a Pogo Rogue. I think it's Pogo Rogue's time to shine. I really do. I could be wrong. And, again, probably am, but still. I stand by it so far. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm gonna do that and then attack with the Blowgill here. Freezing is actually pretty good here. Really? Oh, it's evasion. Okay. I thought it was gonna be attacking my neighbor, so Sun Betrayal, which is why I attacked with the Blowgill Sniper, and specifically why I summoned the Primal Fin first. That's certainly a way to play. Oh, that's a goggle. Your turn. Guess you're looking to draw one of those just to try and kill one of my minions? Not gonna work out for you, bud. I'm gonna make sure that Scargle gets the kill. Again, should have summoned a totem there and overloaded myself with a Stormforge. Gotta stop forgetting about that. Another call in the finishes is so good. It's so good. Siltfin's also quite good, being a draw engine for us. One thing that is a little bit sad is I only have one Underbelly Archer here. Mistcaller. Well, I mean, I guess we do have a lot of minions in this deck, but I don't necessarily think Mistcaller is fast enough. Toxfin's nice removal, at least.
Make Orc pay for yield curve inversion of bond market.
What? That might be the most clever thing Toggold has ever said.
Let us resolve this quickly.
Sorry, this one's not for sale.
What's that hero power? What is it actually? I don't even remember. I know I fought you before though. Vest. Give a friendly minion, oh sorry, return a friendly minion to your hand, then give it +4/+4 and copy it. So you'll have 2 copies of 4/7 Cage the Cash. Fine.
People come to me when they want to start really making money.
Oh, shame.
But your mistake is thinking you can get it the easy way.
Sea Devil's obviously awful for us. good though. Because now I can actually play the Primal Fin on curve. Next turn's almost certainly calling the finishes, so do I want to have a Toxfin? I do. There's a better way to do this. Okay. I was obviously just going to trade the 3-2 into the 1-3 and then the 2-2 across. But I can keep this minion, the Tidecaller. I use the 3-2 to kill the Cache of Cash. I get both of the coins. Coin number 1 hits the Toxfin. The Toxfin hits the Murloc Tidehunter. Tidecaller, rather. That gets to kill the Vicious Scalehide. And then the other coin plays the Earth Shock against Sea Devil. It's perfect. Actually, the Murloc Tidecaller is already going to have lethal, so I can do this. Leaves us with a way better board state. If the enemy clears 1 minion, calling the finishes just destroys everything. Put the Scargirl back in your hand and duplicate it. That would have been terrifying. I don't really want to give up my Tidecaller just to take down the Scargirl here. But I think the longer the game goes, the more we win. Which is atypical for a Murloc deck. But I suspect if I can prevent my opponent from actually getting Invest off, especially Invest on Scargirl would have been awful, right? Because then the enemy plays one of them and the other one makes the other one cost 1. Dispatch bad target, my dude. Bad target. Alright. I can wait until next turn and then just triple Ghostlight Archer. So I will. And I'm not letting the enemy put that minion back in their hand. Never. These need to die right now because of Invest. And the Ghostlight Archer will do that for me. As well as giving me Megafin for next turn. Great. This is a really good deck. I'm glad that the previous decks died as unceremoniously as they did, so that I have the ability to do this.
I'm fast and furious!
I'm always stuck between whether I should name an episode what happens in the episode, which is really important, because, like, people scroll past and see an episode that doesn't have, like, a particularly descriptive title, but if you see an episode that has a title that says, you know, oh, this deck goes wild. Not something as clickbait as that, right? But something kind of along the lines of, what would be a good example? Like explaining, oh, this is a Cthulhu deck. Someone might go, oh, I want to watch a Cthulhu deck, and then click on it, but it does spoil, hey, I'm going to be picking Cthulhu. I'm always stuck between those two, especially in runs like this, where I played 2 runs first, both of them died, and now I'm playing a completely different class. If I put Murloc Shaman in the title, people will know that I lost both of those rogues. Or they'll think I misnamed the file. Hopefully they think that. So as to not be spoiled. I'll play this first, because I want to be able to play some of the other cards that I draw. Scale's great. Excellent. All I need to do is control the board. Enemy can't do anything with invest, and then they lose. Neat. Let's go that, this, and then... You know what, I'll just sack these two. It's pretty good. Windspeaker definitely has a place in this deck. His second Zilliax, really? Stop charging! I guess that's just so that you can have an immediate impact with your invested occasionally. Well, I'm gonna be buffing the enemy as soon as I attack that Zilliax, right?
Mind if I roll need? Hey, give me that.
It's gonna be happening basically no matter what I do, though.
Put this apple on your head.
Oh, wait, you have Wind Fury. Why am I doing anything except for killing? Because I should be overloading, but still. And summoning totems, but I didn't have enough to overload and summon a totem that turn. Hey. Stop getting super comfy because I screw up the framing whole thing going on. Wondrous Wisdom Ball, I'm a little more interested in here. Having a bunch of minions in my deck, like especially the low-cost minions, like God forbid I play Ghostlight Angler and I get a ridiculous amount of those in my deck, right? Elixir of Vigor is probably not that great. We don't have enough draw to really use it. Our draw is pseudo draw from Neptulon filling our hand, and Megafin. We have a little bit of draw naturally in Siltfin, but not much. Wondrous Wisdom Ball does give you the effect of the extra mana crystal for the final combats, and that's particularly important. Gentle Megasaur is your lethal push. If we get the ability to take another one of those, we probably will. Scargle, Gentle Megasaur, reduction of cost on Call of the Murlocs. Those are probably the three most important things here.
Welcome back, Fisina. Now, no biting this time.
Enemy does have a Underbelly Archer. It's pretty good. I do want that. Pretty badly, actually. Upper hand. Right hand man. Right hand man would be putting Underbelly Archer in my opening. Let's Kindle first. Let's get rid of Earthshock, I guess. Earthshock's a good card, but it's between me and my next Murloc, which is bad at this point. Choose an enemy minion. I do want to upper hand, though. Like, really badly.
I can always enjoy a quiet night.
Ooh, here's a play. Get rid of the Ghostlight Archer and the Underbelly Angler. Just purge all of these out of my deck with the All Fired, and then recruit the enemy's Underbelly Archer. Upper hand as well. So whenever you play a Murloc at a random Murloc to your hand. I'm doing it. This gets arguably 3 minions that are bad out of my deck. It depends on how you feel about the Ghostlight. Hey. Our curve is low enough that I don't suspect we need right hand man.
Come back again soon now.
I'll consider it. But please don't tell me what to do. Defeat all 5 chapters to earn a card back. Which card did you take? You want me to defeat 5 chapters in order to earn it back? What'd you take?
Vecina!
I haven't got that many valuable cards. I specifically D all of my golden cards. I do not care about golden. In fact, I actively don't put golden cards in my deck because I don't like the non-homogeneity of that deck. Having golden and non-golden cards in. Well, calling the finish is good here, at least. Why don't we cast that again at a random target? Impression of Khadgar playing a quest again. Ugh. It hasn't done that to me with quests, but it has done that to... Nice. Has done that to me constantly with... Ooh. Hey, get dogged on. Has done that to me constantly with playing Secrets. Trying to play it again. That's not gonna work. Gonna keep the board clear. Alright, Ara, what you gonna do here? Uh-huh. I'm just gonna clear all this.
Nobody's looking.
Oh, thank you. You're such a dear. Just gonna like mega overload for my next turn. It's fine because we have a really good board state. Five mana, what do I care about? Muck Morpher? Is Yor for a double draw? Fine. So what? I lose a Spirit Wolf? Oh, you suck. I hate it. You got a good one? Well, at least calling in the finishes just gives me a bunch of charging 3-1. Well, charging. I would love to be able to Soul of Murloc after this. Can't though. I obviously can't leave the Murloc Knight on the board. It was all being handled. I should have used the Skeletal Enforcer to kill the Murloc Knight.
One more time!
We're gonna celebrate, oh yeah. This is obviously incredible for me because the enemy was dumb, but... Look at this. Give them all Death Rattle, summon a 1/1 Murloc. I'm just gonna get another Murloc, then trade that one up, and then get another Murloc, and then trade that one up. This is why the rush is so important. Otherwise, we would have lost a couple of matches ago without Rocket Boots. Do not underestimate Rocket Boots. Rocket Boots in this mode is almost as good at as all minions have charge. Because you're very rarely immediately pushing for face.
So feeble!
Feeble? You would call this board state Feeble. Well. Okay. I think I'm trying pretty hard. I don't know. I do want to keep Skargle alive, but I also do just want to go mad face right now. I'm not going to go for just giant Murloc to the face. I do want to try and clear this a little bit so that I can keep Skargle out. Great. That'll do. And then... Okay. Alright, Primordial Drake is terrifying right now. That's about it. Cool. As long as it doesn't kill the Megafin, I'm cool with it. Adapt your Murlocs. Nice. We'll actually do that at the start. Right? Because I do want to sneak in Bluegill next to a minion that's already charging, but if everyone gets Wind Fury... That's obviously what I want to do first.
Was that supposed to impress me?
We'll give everyone the attack, I guess. It's not lethal, is it? 32... 36... 37... $37. Is there any creative accounting we can do?
Your sore throats.
None in particular. Alright, just gonna control the board with the Bluegill then. No! There is creative accounting, of course! Trade you off, getting in extra space on the board. The Murloc. The Murlocs buff up old Murkai. I forgot about that. I was only looking for different interactions for extra damage in my hand rather than on the board. Or on the board, I was only looking at the Flame Tongue Totem. Soul of the Murloc is so good for us. Is this our final battle now? No, second to last. Arky the Brilliant. Okay, so this is the hand buff. With Rush, and especially with the... I think we now have 2 poisonous minions in build. We should be able to be fighting it. The enemy's slow progression onto the board is going to be really saddening for them.
Let us resolve this quickly.
Yes, let us.
No mercy.
Skargle in the opening hand. Baby. Enemy starts with extra mana. Hey, that guy started with extra mana. You should too. No? Khadgar, please.
Such a magnificent incandescence.
I'm doing it.
Let me cast that again at a random target.
I mean, I guess I do get to... I thought I was just going to float the mana. Okay, I shouldn't be milling out spells really quickly. I should play my card, wait, see if the Wisdom Ball triggers, play a card, wait, see if the Wisdom Ball triggers, etc. Otherwise, I will cause myself to make a lot of mistakes. That Consecrate could have been so impactful, but not here, and not right now. The enemy doesn't summon minions that only have 2 HP. A couple of minions that have Divine Shield, though. Stormforge Axe effectively has quote-unquote charge, because you can swing it the turn you play it, so... Don't need to play that this turn.
Let your strength shine in the light. Let the Pain, speak to me. Go ahead, draw another. Nobody's looking.
Do I drafted it for a reason. Someone's got to use it, right? And it's going to debuff all of my enemies' minions. Sure, let's go.
I love a good treasure. Let's look for more.
Where's the treasure that you just said you gave me?
As I command.
Whoa! Hey! My rush minions actually get to attack face. Neat. Do it. Yay! Do it! I mean, Murgleton is legendary. Oh, enemy can't even summon a minion. I would say I feel bad for you, but I don't. Sorry. Stop it! Oh man, enemies getting Murlocs galore here.
Feed you to master. Mulgatron!
Kill him. Kill him. Whee! That's why I wanted the golden candle. We only had like 4 minions on board when we played it though. Still incredible. Murgatha. It's a Murloc, we can play it really easily. And obviously it has high stats. We mostly buff the attack of Murlocs, right? So having a high health Murloc is really good. And overloading our enemies, like we play a lot of cards in a single turn. Overloading our enemies just locks them out of the game. I don't know why. I've heard other people kind of like dunk on Murgatha, like not particularly. Oh, everything is awesome. It's obviously very not particularly loving Murgatha as much as I do. I think it's incredible.
Heist of family reunion. Get her!
Okay, so Woggle Tag? Is that her name? Wagtoggle.
Queen Wagtoggle.
Yeah, so Wagtoggle is only going to summon minions out of our deck. That's fine.
A rat pretending to be queen. Squeak for me.
Yeah, she's going to be summoning minions out of our deck for 3. That's fine. I've got 2 Neptilons in there. And Scargle. Those are the only ones I care about. Give me extra mana. I thought it was guaranteed that it gave you extra mana. Apparently not.
Is good being queen.
Come out, come out! I be paying big time.
Don't buff it. Don't buff it. I want to put that in my hand. Ooh.
You sure you is wanting that one back?
Yes! What? Of course! That's my finisher! Next turn, Coin calling the finishers. Murloc Tasty Fin! Draw 2 Murlocs from your deck. Game, you are so kind. I don't think I call in finishes this time. So if I wait until next turn, I can call in the finishers, double coin, Soul of the Murloc. And that's so powerful. But if I wait until turn 5, I only need 1 coin to do that. And that'll allow me to coin Siltfin this turn. That's good too. Murgatha coin or elemental next turn, probably. Murgatha has the benefit of being able to completely finish off Captain Greenskin here. It's also worth noting the enemy has played Captain Greenskin as well as Captain Greenskin as well as a Goblin Auto Barber, but still has not played the Kingsbane. So we're in a great position for that. Murgatha, coin, air elemental.
Random legendaries are always good.
They're not! That is awful! Why? Khadgar, you've exclusively screwed me up so far. I gave you another chance. That is what this run is. A second chance for you, Khadgar. I'm not liking what I see. You're showing me a real evil side of yourself, mate. I don't know if I like what I see.
So weakling, like you. Hell no tails.
I don't want to overdraw. Okay, if I do this first, I can trade across there, and then do this.
Go back to Togwaggle.
He be needing you.
Fine. That being 1 HP is okay.
You is working hard for this one. Too bad.
Well, I guess I do get to draw it now. Hopefully I get Toxfin this time. Toxfin, Toxfin, Toxfin. Damn it, I really like Hearthstone as the host of QI. Alright, I'll probably go for Call in Finishes Soul of the Forest. That's gonna complete our quest as well, by the way.
Didn't want any days.
I don't need my entire board to constantly be full of Murlocs, so... Oh, but is the enemy likely to play a board player? Not that likely. I'm probably just gonna Golden Candle next turn. Alright. Your turn.
My totems, my pretty totems. This is not being worth my time.
Cool. I do want the Stormforge Axe out first.
Worth nothing. You take back.
Trade one off, and 1, 2, 3. Let's take face size as well. Randomness! Don't you dare death rattle, deathwing me.
Where's
Katharina's not good enough. All right, we're in. Wee! Okay. Let's trade that off and this. It's a good minion. If your deck has no duplicates, your hero battles one this turn, and apparently it doesn't. Nice. Fully heal your hero as well. Wild. It's really important I can continue to control the board as well, by the way. It's also worth noting that Confessor Palatrus is about to get me another random legendary. Thank you, Raza. Although Raza wasn't actually essential in order to make that happen, but still. I swear I heard the effect of King Crush being summoned. That's the gasp there.
I have no time for games.
No silence. Probably not Jiraxis. I feel like my HP will be a little garbage if I do that. I want Zentimo, Raza, Roth, or Lothab taken here.
Shrink your head.
Yeah, enemy was just going to do that next turn themselves anyway. This just gets me the ability to deal with it instantaneously. Like, for instance, I can just summon Swamp Queen Hagatha and kill it. Let's see what we get from Palatris first. Oh no, that fills the entire board.
You face Jaraxxus, Eridon Lord of the Burning Legion. You face Jaraxxus. You face Jaraxxus, Eridon Lord of the Burning.
Oh, Mogar! It's not fair. Never mind, it's totally fair, it's fine. I suspect I don't
Shrink your head.
attack minions anymore.
This jungle hides many secrets.
Yeah. Just because I'm pushing for lethal in the next 2 turns. There goes Palatris. And you took a totem. Lovely.
My winged children fill the skies. Aloof Neladar.
You be wanting audience with Queen.
You face Jaraxxus. You face Jaraxxus.
And my hero bow cost 1. Oh, that was a good run. It almost makes up for the first 2. In fact, it more than makes up for the first 2. I can't believe that we got exclusively Murloc, or rather Fishy through. Beautiful. That's a good run right there. And that's our Shaman completion of the first wing of Dalaran Heist. Also unlocks Primal Storms, as well as the random deck, I believe. No, the Swamp. Not the random deck, but it does unlock the Overload effect. I still need to summon more totems in order to get the final one. Neat. For the moment, though, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Hearthstone. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.